Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the Rocket City Network. Another edition, another episode of Speak On It. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Southeast, the one and only Mike Sean, and I have Professor Stokes with me. It is Black History Month. You guys see me, and this was not made in Taiwan. Hey, it came from the motherland, right? It came from the motherland. This right here, it is what it is. All right. So, Courtney, it is Black History Month, and every year it just seems that the and I hate to laugh because I have to laugh to stop from crying.
Right,
The
right.
only people that get mentioned during Black History Month is MLK, Rosa Parks. It's pretty much it. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Man, what can we say, man? Like you said, you got to laugh from crying because it's MLK, it's Rosa Parks, it's Harriet Tubman sometimes.
Yeah.
And but it's it's who it's who they want to prop up for us. Like this is the end all be all. And while Martin Luther King was great, Rosa Parks was great, Harriet Tubman was great, there were a lot of unsung and unknown heroes in this black diaspora that we discuss, man. And so this just shows us, man, that we can't depend on others to teach our history, because they're gonna give us bits and pieces while filling us up with their history, right? And so we got to take Black History Month. Like I told my students, right? It's great that Black people got a month. It's the shortest month, but we got a month.
Hey,
But
wait.
What's that?
We got to dispel that, right? And the reason why it is in February is because Carter G. Woodson, as you know, at first it was Negro Week, and it expanded to the whole month. So, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's definitely a misconception of folks who have complained in the past about us getting the shortest week, but there's a reason why it is in February. Right. But go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to, I just got to be fair and balanced. But
yeah. But I'm just saying, Black history is 365 days.
It's American history. Yes,
it's
sir.
American history.
Yes,
it's American history. It's not just this 1 month where we can jam pack the whole experience of Black America from Africa here to the Americas. We can't compact all of that into 1 month. It's a 365-day journey each and every day, living this Black experience and learning about the tragedies and the trauma that our people went through in this country, just trying to make do with what we have, which they didn't give us much. And to see how, man, that you, your wife, a couple of my partners, man, and their spouses, man, just to see how far we've come in this thing, man, as young Black, well, I say middle-aged Black.
Middle-aged.
We can say middle-aged. But it's just good to see, man, successful Black people. And I'm in the classroom, so I try to push this thing on these kids, man, to let them know that what the greatness that they come from. And so again, I appreciate Black History Month, but it's not just we don't have to regulate it for 1 month, and we definitely, while Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, etc., they deserve those props. There are countless other, again, heroes and individuals who played a magnificent, huge role in the background of this thing, man. And so I feel like one of mine all-time favorites is James Baldwin, and I love Fannie Lou Hamer, man. I love her, man. She was a warrior for this thing, man. And so it's a beautiful thing to see, man, that we can take those individuals, although they're not here, they left a impactful impactful mark on this thing, on this American history, and definitely in our culture and in our history as well.
Yeah. And now that you see that there's been an attack on things that have to do with culture, right?
Right.
So CRT has been a big thing of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I was telling folks, when I first started really getting into the whole going back and forth on should CRT be taught in schools,
Mm-hmm.
and I told folks, hey, once this thing catches steam and becomes like a culture warfront issue,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to start attacking Black History
Yeah.
Month. And fast forward 3 years, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, like you said, they kind of put you in a box. They'll replay the "I Have a Dream" speech,
Yeah.
right? They love that speech, but there's so many other speeches. If
Yeah.
you go and Google Barbara Jordan, if you go Google Shirley Chisholm, you'll hear some remarkable speeches. And
Right.
it's not about just Black women and their struggles. If you listen to their speeches, it can affect everybody of all different nationalities, of all
Correct.
ethnicities, right? So, like I said, Black history is American history. And I think
Definitely.
once people realize that, um, I think we'll be in a better place. But it takes people to do the right thing. If you're a young history teacher and you don't know where to start, um, just go to the library, go to the African American section, and you'll
Yeah.
find some fascinating books, some
Mm-hmm.
great books. And I would challenge people to read different authors, right? Or read different biographies. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to just stick with the "I Have a Dream" speech, right?
Yeah.
You can read Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington, a
Mm-hmm.
great book.
Mm-hmm.
A Black American book, an American book.
Yeah.
There's so many different books out there. The Miseducation of the Negro, great
Mm-hmm.
book, great book. The Philadelphia Negro by W.B. Du Bois, a
Mm-hmm.
great book. These are foundational books that have served me well.
Yeah.
But there's others out there, but it's so much material out there that can do a lot of good to our young folks. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes we underestimate the intelligence of younger students, right? They can be able to grasp certain things because
Mm-hmm.
at a certain age, they understand that we're not all the same.
Right.
I have white kids in my classroom, I have Black kids, I have Latino kids, Latina kids, Asian kids, Native American kids, and biracial kids in my
Mm-hmm.
class. I can learn about all their cultures, right?
Correct.
So um, we are in a situation, a climate where it's not, how do you say it? It's controversial to bring up certain issues
Yeah.
because everything's a hot topic because of all these culture war starters,
Yeah.
like your Ron DeSantis. But I think once people begin to look past that,
Yeah.
they'll have a better appreciation of all ethnicities and what they bring to the table. Um, at my place of employment, we often have different months that pertain to different ethnicities. You have Pacific Islander month, right? You have Asian
Mm-hmm.
American month, Hispanic month, right?
Yeah.
So I challenge everybody to go out there and not just celebrate your culture's month,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's culture's month. So February is Black History Month. You can do something as simple as go to a soul food restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, go to a soul food restaurant. We all have iPhones. We all have iPads. Search for a Black author
Yeah.
just to kind of understand different points of view, right? So, Courtney, do you believe that in the next few years that we're going to see a decline in Black history being taught in schools?
Um, Unfortunately, yes, because we have individuals who who are willfully ignorant and do not want to know or even care to understand about Black contributions in this country. You mentioned DeSantis, a guy who isn't a white man at all. Your last name is DeSantis. He's doing his very best to eradicate and erase anything Black, right? Because it's woke. Mm-hmm. Black culture is, like you said, it's a part of American history, and stories need to be told. And it's okay to learn about European culture, but it's not okay to learn about Black people who contributed to this country. Mm-hmm. And so I think, man, if we continue to have individuals voted into office with that ideology, anything that's pertaining to bringing inclusion and diversity into certain areas, and you label it as woke culture, then you will continue to have individuals fight against, fighting against diversity and inclusion. Because if America is a melting pot, then why are we headed towards, or why does it seem like we're heading back towards Jim Crow? Why does it seem like we're heading back towards segregation, right? You get on TV and you say the American people, this. Well, we're all Americans, right? Yes. We were born here. I was born here. We're all Americans, but it just seems that it's a more concentrated effort to go after Black than anything else. Because, Republicans love to hijack the word woke. Anything that's about diversity and inclusion, it is woke. I don't understand it. So yes, man, if we continue to get people like Ron DeSantis and Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz and all these other crazies whose only agenda it is to keep their base ignorant and pushing out any kind of light that sheds on diversity, I could see, man, that it's going to be a struggle for the next couple of years.
Yes, and that comes up to the parents, right? Mm-hmm. Parents have to pretty much step it up and teach their kids about all nationalities, all ethnic groups, right? The schools can't do everything. You can't depend on the school system to teach your kid everything. You have to take some kind of responsibility, accountability to teach your kids about different things. I remember when I lived in Germany, my sister went on a field trip to the Holocaust, one of the Holocaust camps, right? I think it was Auschwitz. Man, that was an experience for her, and she definitely enjoyed it. And I believe she was only 12 years old. So that right there shows you that kids, if you explain it to them, they understand. They can process information just probably sometimes better than adults can.
Right.
So I think that, like I said, we need to go ahead and challenge ourselves and make sure that we are educating our kids and making them aware that there are other cultures in our society. And we have to teach them that, hey, there's different, this person looks like this because of this situation. This person looks like that because, hey, of that situation.
Right.
So I think I've been meaning to say this whole time is that we have to take ourselves to task to right this ship.
Yeah.
And I think we can do it if we all put on our big boy pants and big girl pants and start discussing some inconvenient truths.
Correct. And we need to, we need to hold one another accountable as well. Like we need to really, like you said, we can do it. But, I feel like back then, because Black people didn't have the rights we have today, they were more unified and on one front because this is something that they really, really wanted. And I think now, man, we're able to do this and do that. Not to say that racism doesn't exist, because we know it does. Yeah. But if we're not careful, and if we're not careful and if we're not up in front of this fight, because we know it's going to be a long fight, but if we're not careful, man, and we just keep allowing these people, like it irks me so bad to see a DeSantis or a Taylor Greene or a Bobart not be challenged on anything. They just stand up there and they're given this space to spew lies and to act like white people are oppressed and that everything's being catered to Black folk, when we know that's not the case, because police still out here killing us. Mm-hmm. And so I think, man, we need to get these people, challenge ourselves, but we also need to get in these spaces where we challenge the thought, the thinking process, and the ideologies of these extreme people who are trying to take this country back to a time period where you and I and the so-called others will not have a voice. Like, just want to take us back and regulate us again to second-class citizenship as once before. So I think we need to do a good job of challenging ourselves, and there are people out there doing that. Mm-hmm. But we also need to get in these spaces and step on some toes where people are blatantly lying and suppressing the truth, and people are still saying CRT is teaching white kids that they're to be guilty of their white skin. Just so much basic lying ideologies out there that can easily be debunked, but because they don't have any people in those circles that can challenge those things, they're easily getting away with it. And I feel like the media gives them a pass. They don't really, some journalists do, but for the most part, most media allow them to spew foolishness without any pushback.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Rocket City Network. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we are out. Yeah.